Hi there, Shanti. Great job writing this essay for your IELTS preparation. It's really, really important to get feedback from an IELTS professional who is familiar with the exam. So good work with this. Let's get straight into your essay and we can see what you have written. In some cities, more and more people live on their own. Give reasons. Is this a positive or negative trend? Okay. Here's what you had to say. In most of the urban regions, a vast majority of people prefer a solitary life. This essay will discuss the reasons why people choose to live alone. In addition, I will shed light on both the pros and cons of living alone in cities. We'll present arguments showing that is indeed okay. Here you're missing something. So, in addition, I will shed light on both the pros and cons of living alone in cities, and I will present arguments showing that it is indeed detrimental to live alone. Okay, so you didn't really need the semicolon here, and I would have been fine, and you were missing that it is here. That was missing. There is a plethora of reasons to believe why people choose to live alone in cities. Okay, not really. There is a plethora of reasons why, not to believe, why people choose to live alone in cities. Firstly, many people are convinced that when they live alone, there will be an opportunity to spend their time the way they like. One good example is, you don't need a comma here, one good example is that students prefer to stay alone to avoid any distractions which may lead to their underperformance. Likewise, working professionals prefer alone time, not lonely time. Lonely has a negative connotation, whereas alone is more neutral. So they prefer alone time to relax and rejuvenate oneself. Secondly, it goes without saying that things like indoor games, television shows, and internet are drawing people's attention towards them, especially with an easy access in cities, which leads to a solitary yet sedentary life. Okay. Is there like a takeaway? Is there some sort of summary that you want to give us? Some sort of a conclusive statement, perhaps. But other than that, it's fine. As every coin has two sides, solitary life comes with both advantages. You didn't need this comma here, by the way. As every coin has two sides, solitary life comes with both advantages and disadvantages. For the various reasons discussed above, on a positive note, living alone can bring many benefits, which include increased focus towards work. You don't need a semicolon. A comma is fine. Which include learning, ing, to be independent, comma, or no comma here actually, and an opportunity to know one's own self. On the contrary, factors such as internet and social media can hinder human interactions because of virtual relationships. Furthermore, there is a significant body of research that shows that loneliness causes hallucinations and thus mental illness. In this regard, a recent survey conducted at Cambridge University has shown, it's one survey, so it has shown that 9% of international students have gone through mental issues in 2 years due to stress and solitary life. All these clearly indicate that advantages of living alone are eclipsed by its disadvantages. That's lovely. Okay, so the only thing that I really wanted in this paragraph was maybe just a little more support, a little more explanation of what you mean. Okay, first of all, they're asking you if it's a positive or negative trend. You've decided to discuss both, but then focus on the negatives. To do this appropriately, though, you do need to support some of these. So here, you might have wanted to say a little bit more about this. So how do these things hinder human interactions because of virtual relationships? I mean, I wanted a little more explanation of this. Okay? Here you explained it quite a bit. So if you look again at the topic, it says, is it a positive or negative trend? You may want to just select one for this paragraph because it might then end up becoming too long if you decide to discuss both. And it does say one or the other. So it would be appropriate to simply talk about, on the whole, that it's positive or on the whole that it's negative, rather than going into both. And in order to do this successfully, like I said, you do need to provide support, so it just gets kind of long and maybe even a little cumbersome. So that's what my opinion is. I think this might have worked better if you had just developed one side more and stuck to one main idea in this paragraph. Okay, having considered a range of arguments, I strongly believe that although solitary life brings satisfaction of being self-sufficient, comma, no semicolon here, we cannot underestimate the possible adverse effects coupled with the benefits. Hence, it appears that living alone is not an ideal option. It's lovely. I mean, you can see that I didn't correct anything here except for that punctuation. This was, on the whole, quite nice. Like I said, I did have a concern with your development of this paragraph for the reasons that I already went into considerable detail about. So please do, Shanti, keep on writing. Continued feedback will really help you improve. So I hope I get to see more of these essays from you, okay? And good luck.